Hey everyone, it's Brian Zane here, and by the time you watch this video, I'll actually be in Dallas getting ready for WrestleMania weekend. Unless you watch this after WrestleMania for some reason, then I will be gone from Dallas. But be that as it may, I am here to give you my predictions for WrestleMania weekend, Saturday and Sunday at AT&T Stadium. Gotta tell you, looking at this card on paper, this does not deserve to have two nights in AT&T Stadium. It's going to be very interesting how these shows are presented in the grand scheme of things. But a lot of the stuff on this show, on paper, I'm not too thrilled about, but we're going to do our best to get through these, and I'm going to give you my picks one by one. Let's begin with The Miz and celebrity guest Logan Paul teaming up to take on the Mysterios, Rey and Dominic. I gotta say, I feel they kind of wrap things up a little too soon here. That little micro program in the build of The Miz and Logan stealing Rey's mask and then getting it back on Raw this week. To me, that kind of indicates the heels are going to win this one because you already had the big, victory of the baby faces on the Go Home show. So how can you really top that with them winning again on Sunday? I mean, I feel they've been kind of teasing on and off for a long time this kind of, maybe not acrimonious breakup, but some kind of rift between Rey and Dominic. And I wonder if that's going to play a role into what happens on this show. Maybe not seeing that. I mean, we've been, it's so funny. I've been talking about this for so long in predictions video. Oh, this is the show they're going to break up. This is the show they're going to break up. And it's never happened. I feel I had the same success rate with the Mysterios as I did the New Day for a long time, in fact. But, maybe that will be kind of the thing that gets it rolling. So, I mean, my guess right now is that the heels are going to win this one, probably because of some kind of miscommunication between the male Mysterios, and we'll see where it goes from there. I mean, as far as Logan Paul himself, I mean, obviously the standard for celebrities and non-wrestlers competing is very high now after what we saw with guys like Pat McAfee and Bad Bunny last year. So I think the onus is on guys like Logan Paul, like Johnny Knoxville, to produce equally well. So we'll see how Logan does in this. But I think at the minimum, he's not going to suck. Drew McIntyre takes on Happy Corbin in a why the hell is this match happening at WrestleMania match? Only God and Vince McMahon know. My pick for this one is Drew McIntyre. The Usos defend the SmackDown tag titles against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, who may not be a traditional tag team in the sense of, say, the Usos, for example. But I mean, they've obviously been teaming together. They've been part of the same act for a long time, and Boogs is slowly but steadily getting more and more over, I think, as a wrestler. And so I think this team, it's going to be good for what it is. Obviously, the Usos are really good with whoever. I think Shinsuke, when properly motivated, can put on incredible matches. I think that this will be a good, serviceable match, but obviously I think the storyline with Roman and the Usos is just too strong. I don't see it ending here for the Usos. I certainly don't see it ending with Shinsuke and Rick Boogs. I think there might be better tag teams to kind of put up against or maybe take the belts from the Usos, but I don't think it's happening yet. So I think Jimmy and Jay are going to retain. Raw Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch defending against Bianca Belair. And this match is almost a year in the making. Of course, we saw the beginnings of it at SummerSlam last year when Becky Lynch returned and immediately turned heel, beating Bianca in less than 30 seconds. And I think right now is the time for Bianca to shine. I mean, we saw it last year at Mania, how she and Sasha Banks closed out night one, and that great match won the SmackDown Women's Championship. I think lightning will strike again here on night one of Mania in Dallas, and she will walk away the Raw Women's Champion. It will be, I think, a very good match. The story they've been telling, except for the shortness, the brief existence of Bianca's throat injury from the chair spot notwithstanding, I think the general storytelling they've been doing has been really strong for this one. It plays into last year's stuff, and it talks about Bianca's redemption arc. She's beaten Doudrop 800 times on TV, it seems, to earn this spot here. And I think in the end, Bianca is going to win. Becky's going to hopefully make her in this one. Like I said, the storytelling's been really solid so far, and hopefully the right move seems to be Bianca winning. Ronda Rousey challenging Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was going to be a big test for Ronda because, obviously when she did WrestleMania in New Orleans, it was a tag team match. Then the following year, she was in the Triple Threat, also with Charlotte. Now she's going to be all on her own, all on her lonesome here, one-on-one against Charlotte. I think this match will be, I don't think it's going to be as fun to watch, say, or maybe as entertaining to watch as Becky and Bianca. I could be wrong. This match I'm not quite as interested in terms of the story. As far as who I think is going to win this one, I'm kind of torn on this as well because, Charlotte does have a history of losing most of her matches at WrestleMania. Not all of them, but she's kind of in that position where she is frequently putting people over, which is why she's such a why she's held the belt so many times over the years. I think Ronda, I think she's in that place now. She's here. I can see her kind of going in for a longer haul and winning the SmackDown Championship. She didn't do that last time she was there, just a Raw Women's Champion. So for her to come back and win the SmackDown Women's title, I think would be good. Probably this seems like the correct choice if I had to say that. So yeah, I believe Ronda is going to come out on top in this one. Seth Rollins gets his own personal main event against a mystery opponent who will be announced when Seth is in the ring by Mr. McMahon. So, everyone and their mom thinks it's going to be Cody Rhodes. It is a very strong theory. The timing seems to be right. The signs seem to be there. Lord knows they've been planting seeds on their own and giving not so subtle hints about Cody's impending arrival. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to say, the smart money, the easy money is on Cody Rhodes. But I mean, it's such an obvious thing, and WWE has that history of, well, we're going to change the obvious thing because it's too obvious and the fans are going to know too. I mean, even if it's the worst kept secret or the easiest surprise guess possible, at least I think no matter what, the fans are going to embrace it and respond accordingly. So they're going to get the response they want regardless, even if we already kind of know. But if it's not going to be Cody, just on the small chance it's not going to be Cody, who could it be that's going to be worthy of that kind of thing? There's the rumor, there could be a swerve. Oh, Shane McMahon, he's coming back to be Seth's opponent, which would not be the business. That's not the match I want. I'll open it up to you. Who do you think, if not Cody Rhodes, could the mystery opponent possibly be? And realistically, you could do funny guesses if you want, I guess, but I want to hear your legitimate, who could it actually be if it's not going to be Cody Rhodes? But for the sake of argument in this predictions video, I am going to say it's going to be Cody Rhodes. And as far as who's going to win versus he and Seth, I think, again, easy pick would be Cody Rhodes after debuting at WrestleMania, or returning, I should say, at Mania. So again, it's all hypothetical. We'll see what happens. But again, the smart money's on Cody. It's been confirmed the main event segment of night one is going to be the KO show with special guest Steve Austin. This sounds like it's going to start out with kind of a talky kind of thing and then just devolve into a brawl. Maybe it'll just start in a brawl. It's not going to be a match in the traditional sense. This is going to be their way around it. So Austin doesn't, he doesn't officially come back to the ring and kind of sully, how he went out at WrestleMania 19, for example. So it's going to be a brawl, probably. It's going to go all over the place, I would imagine. It's going to be entertaining and just stunner versus stunner, that potential kind of clash between the two of them. We've seen how Kevin's kind of upped the ante. His troll job dressed as Stone Cold from a week or two ago, I think was great. This is going to be a very fun, wild fracas for sure. As far as who's going to win the encounter, it's got to be Steve Austin, right? His big return, his home state, Dallas, Tejas, it just makes sense. It feels right. And after, again, what a miserable card this looks like on paper for night one, for the most part. Not exactly a ton of Mania-worthy matchups, in my opinion. But if you could end the show with a big Steve Austin return that ends with him kind of being on top, I think fans will be pretty forgiving of any kind of other shortcomings the night might have. Moving on to WrestleMania Sunday, the recently returned Bobby Lashley takes on the Giant Omos in a match that was just made on Monday. But honestly, they already killed the draw for that match because the whole story was how they're going to get Omos off his feet. Lashley shows up and right there knocks him off his feet. Well, you certainly don't need the Mania match now, do you? Because you just killed the whole reason to have that match for people to watch and to care, especially with so little build behind it. I feel bad for Lashley, going from being WWE champion to just being in this kind of match where it's designed seemingly to get Omos over as this giant. I don't see Omos losing this one. I think that would really hurt his, whatever trajectory they have planned or whatever they really want to do with him. If you're gonna have Omos win at Mania, have him go against somebody else. Obviously it's to get him over. Oh my God, he just beat Bobby Lashley. So that's what I'm envisioning is going to happen here. Raw Tag Team Championship match. RK Bro defend against Alpha Academy and the Street Profits. This match is going to be freaking ridiculous. That's the best way I could describe it. I think these are three of the hottest teams right now across both shows. The work Alpha Academy is doing, specifically Chad Gable, his character development is amazing. He's one of the most entertaining heels out there right now on WWE, and I think that he and Otis work well together. I was really skeptical of them when they first started teaming up last year, but I'm so behind Alpha Academy now. Kind of similar vibes to RK Bro, and of course the Street Profits are going to be good with almost whoever they're slotted up against. I think it's just going to be a very athletic match. Could be just one of the biggest, like, I guess indie-rific is the term I would use here. It's going to be the closest to that, I think, because it's going to have all the big high spots and the flips and the dips and everything. And I think it's going to be very entertaining. As far as who I think is going to win this one, again, it's kind of a toss-up. I really think the Street Profits, they held those belts for so long and did so little with them, I think, that it would be a step backward almost for them to win them here. And Alpha Academy, I don't necessarily want to see them hot potato the belts. But I'm not sure how much more mileage you can get with RK Bro. I mean, Lord knows there's been kind of like rumors and little hints dropped for the last several months that Orton may betray Riddle at some point. Is this the point it's going to be at? I mean, I did earlier mention, hey, maybe the Mysterios will break up too. I don't know if we'll get 2 tag team breakups in one weekend, but I mean, you could get one or both, I think. As far as like, I don't know. It's really hard for me to pick a winner. I guess I'm just going to say RK Bro retain for now, and we'll see what happens with that team dynamic as the year goes on. Pat McAfee will take on Austin Theory, Mr. McMahon's protege over the last several months. And I mean, as far as a match for Austin Theory, it's going to be a great platform for him. Pat McAfee, I mean, I gushed about him when he was wrestling in NXT. He really just knocked my expectations clear out of the water. So I'm all for Pat coming back into the ring for this. His promo stuff on SmackDown for the last several weeks has also been very strong. He's just a natural talker and a natural personality, someone who you want to see like do well on this platform. And I think that's what we're going to see here. I think someone who is as athletic as Theory and who's like as versatile as he is, for someone as young as he is. I've seen him, you see him work with a broad range of opponents, all these different sizes and styles. And Theory generally looks really good in all of them. And so I think he's going to be a great opponent here for McAfee. I complained last year or 2 years ago that I thought McAfee was too polished for his own good, for someone who was just starting out. But at least now it will be like, it'll be familiar. It will be like, oh, like, okay, this is expected of him now. So I think as far as who's going to win, I don't know. I feel like this could be an Austin Theory win. I think McAfee is going to look great. I think the conventional wisdom is, oh, he's going to win just because it's the Pat McAfee or whatever. But I think Austin is going to ultimately do something sneaky or underhanded. Maybe hit him in the face with a cell phone or something as he's taking the selfie to win the match, something like that. But yeah, it's going to be a fun match. It'll be a spectacle, I think. I'm not sure if Mr. McMahon's going to get involved here, but I think that, yeah, Austin's going to win. Women's tag titles will be defended. You got Queen Zelina and Carmella versus Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler. It's just 8 ladies with a whole lot of nothing to do, so let's throw them all into this match here. I guess that this balances out the 2 women's matches you'll have on Saturday, I suppose. This is, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to care about this because they've put so little care themselves into the women's tag team division in WWE. Those belts seem to be cursed. I don't really know. This seems to me it's going to be a platform for Sasha and Naomi to win. Them winning the belts would be kind of a good like pop for the fans. The 2 baby faces, Naomi especially after her big long program with Sonya Deville, that seems to be over with now. And so I think maybe this would be kind of a nice little reward of sorts. Like, hey, you came from that gives you momentum to be the champion. So that's my pick right now. I mean, honestly, it's a 4-sided coin flip if you want my opinion, but I'm leaning more towards Sasha and Naomi. An anything goes match as Sami Zayn battles Johnny Knoxville of Jackass fame. You know what? Several weeks ago, everyone was freaking out that, oh my God, this could be for the Intercontinental Championship. Now I kind of wish it was, because we sure as hell ain't seen that belt on WrestleMania this weekend. I'm not entirely sure how much bumping Knoxville could actually do since he has suffered a brain hemorrhage in the past, and who knows how healed he is from that. Not sure how much knocking around he could do. I wouldn't be surprised if this were like some kind of pre-taped bit that happened like outside the main ring area, something backstage, something to really capture the Jackass vibe. Like, I don't know if this will be like a legitimate match or not. Like, it could be partly in the ring, partly out. This could be kind of like their answer maybe to the Stadium Stampede match. Just something where you're going to have like the opportunity for wackiness to happen here. I think Sami is really good in that comedic role where he's just kind of like the ever suffering heel, but everything, this crazy stuff happens around him and he's just like has to play off off it. I think he does really well with that. I think he and Knoxville will be entertaining in that regard. As far as who's going to win, honestly, I think Knoxville's going to win this one. It's like you got to have your yin with your yang. I don't think McAfee's going to win his match. That means Knoxville's going to have to win his. And again, Sammy's the kind of guy who I don't think is going to be hurt by that necessarily. It's high profile. He's a good comic foil. And so I think it's going to be good in that sense. It's going to he will look good in the end in terms of his performance, I think. So I'm hoping to be entertained at the very least, but my pick's Knoxville. Edge will take on AJ Styles in sort of like a dream matchup here. Two guys who have been around for like a long, long time, but have never really crossed paths until now. I think these two styles, no pun intended, will work well together and make a very compelling matchup. I think this could be, I think it'll be an emotionally strong match for sure. As far as who I think is going to win this one, seems to be Edge is the easy pick for me. They're just trying to get over this new heel persona of his and the whole mountain of omnipotence. Like I said, it's going to be a great matchup. I think that ultimately Edge is going to win. I feel like he just needs like a big Mania win. He hasn't got it since, 36 against Randy Orton, and that was a match that I think more people would like to forget than remember. So yeah, let's have him win here against Styles. And finally, in the main event, a match 7 years in the making, and as of this recording, is officially, as of now, a title unification winner takes all match. Got the Universal Champion Roman Reigns and the WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. I think this match, I hope, will live up to the hype. I mean, these guys are both running on such big strides right now. Roman, of course, he's been doing great since being the Tribal Chief. That is consistently one of the strongest things about SmackDown right now, besides, the whole brand, the whole WWE, really. And Brock Lesnar, I think, has found kind of a career renaissance in a way, as this kind of like cowboy babyface, this a side of him we never saw before in his youth or in the beginning of his comeback, and it took this long to finally get this personality out of Lesnar. And I think more or less it's going really well, and it's being well received. And I think that it's definitely a great vibe for him. I mean, this one's tough to pick. I think you could make an argument or justification for either man winning both the belts. Lesnar's Lesnar. He has historically been the end boss and the end all be all. But Roman Reigns is that guy now. And I think the original goal has always been for Roman to have the torch passed to him from Lesnar in that regard. And man, this feels the best time to do it. Just to really kind of put the final, exclamation point on it. Roman to defeat Lesnar, unify the belts, be the new guy. Lesnar can always come and go as he pleases, and he'll be I would assume, kind of beloved if he's going to keep this current version of himself up. But it's going to be a very fun match, I think. It's going to be all the big car crash stuff and the big suplexes and whatnot. So if you like that kind of the beefy big boy battle, I think you're gonna enjoy this matchup here. Hopefully, in their history together has proven me, that it's going to be entertaining in some regard at least. I think that the right people will get booed and cheered at least. So, but yeah, my money's on Roman. But those are only my humble picks, folks. What do you think is going to happen at WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm going to be honest with you. I cannot guarantee a speedy turnaround for WrestleMania reviews for those two nights. The crew, Lord knows, we're going to be so busy all weekend in Dallas, between WrestleCon, between the American Angels screening, between Hybrid Mania 2 in Arlington. We have tickets to both nights of WrestleMania. We might go to both nights. We might not, but we're going to be very busy and go to other shows as well. Lots of stuff going on. I might not have the time or energy to actually record reviews when we're there. We'll have to wait and see though, but I can tell you we are going to be filming lots of content when we're there. I've told you all the things, just have rattle off some of our big things we're doing. If you're going to be in Dallas WrestleMania weekend, I really hope to see you there. I hope to meet you at WrestleCon or wherever you might find me. Please don't be shy. Come say hi to me. I won't bite, I promise. But folks, I'm so excited for this weekend, and I hope you are too, no matter what level of cynicism you are with WWE, because in my opinion, WrestleMania weekend is the most magical time of year for wrestling fans, and I hope that we can all kind of appreciate what is on the table and what's going to be offered up in Dallas and the surrounding area this coming weekend. But until then, folks, I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.